League fans, my name is Steve Mascord, and yes, our breakfast show here on rugbyleague.com is back, and we've got a packed hour coming up. We're going to explain to you what games we're covering this weekend. We're going to talk about everything that's in the news on both sides of the globe, and of course it is Teams Day in the NRL, so we're going to go through all the teams one by one, who's in and who's out, and we've got 3 interviews coming up in the hour. They're all from the London Broncos. We've got players Marcus Stock and also Sadiq Adebiyi, and to finish off the hour, the coach Mike Eccles, who specifically has some pretty interesting stuff to say about London and Super League next year, and that of course is the topic du jour and de week and de month, which is the expansion of Super League to 14 teams, and what that means, and also the lower divisions going to merge, etc., etc., etc. And there was some interesting conversation about that last night on the 40-20 show, which we broadcast here on rugbyleague.com, and also an interview that the Wigan CEO, Chris Radlinski, did on All Out Rugby League about why are they still world champs? They are still world champs, yeah. Why they did not enter a vote, abstain on this expansion from 12 to 14 teams. And it turns out that it was because the paperwork wasn't sent to them, which makes you wonder why anyone else voted without full information, and it would appear without the governing body telling or fully informing Sky, and then there's those concerns hanging over their heads as well from Sport England, who provides so much funding to the sport every year. So things are a bit chaotic and a bit in disarray in the Northern Hemisphere. In the Southern Hemisphere, we've got a trainer who's been fined and suspended for running in front of a goal kicker, and there's some conversation going on about the Pacific Championships, that draw being announced soon. World Cup is only 15 months away, and we still don't have any idea of who's playing who or where, except we know it's in Australia. That's all we know. So things aren't exactly rosy south of the equator either. So yeah, during this hour, we'll talk about as many of those things as we can squeeze in. But firstly, we do this every time we have an episode. We go through the Rugby League birthdays, and there's a huge one today. 81 years old to the great Bob McCarthy. Happy birthday, Bobby. Awesome. Larry Grewar, 68 today. Kevin Ward, not the London Broncos fan and sponsor of Philippines Rugby League. That's the other Kevin Ward. But Kevin Ward, the Castleford, Manly and St Helens star. 68 today. Happy birthday there to Kevin Ward. There's 3 great players right there. Bob McCarthy, Larry Grewar and Kevin Ward right off the bat. Steve Regan, born a couple of years after me, the Canterbury back rower. He's 54 today. Happy birthday. Paul Carriage, Steeler and Parramatta player, Salford player, 52 today. Let's scroll down. Jeff Robson, the Parramatta, Manly, Cronulla and Warriors utility good hooker. Spent a lot of time at hooker. 43 today. Thomas Bosque from France and UTC. He is 42 today. Hope you're having bon anniversaire there, Thomas. Who else we got? Steve Matai, the enigmatic Manly centre. 41 today. Shannon McDonald played for, you might remember him from West Tigers, but he also played for Newcastle, Hull KR, Hull FC, St Helens, Rochdale and Ireland. And he played for the Exiles, one of the early Exiles representatives. 38 today, so his career's not over too long. A fellow who's still going around, Conrad Hurrell, 34 today. The Hurricane. Happy birthday. Jack Cogger from Newcastle, Canterbury, Huddersfield and Penrith, 28 today. Adam Dewey, he's in the news. Is he on the move from West Tigers? 27 today. So there we go. That's enough, I think. That's a very illustrious group of fellas celebrating their birthdays today. So just to recap, we'll be talking about what's in the news. We'll be talking about the team news at the NRL, and we'll be talking to 3 key figures from the London Broncos and finishing the hour with their coach, Mike Eccles. Back after this. Wow, we love it when news breaks while we're on air here on Good Morning League fans. And I can tell you that the draw for the Pacific Championships has been announced. So Sunday, October 19 at Go Media Stadium in Auckland. It's the Kiwi Ferns versus Fetu Samoa in the women and the Kiwis v Toa Samoa in the men. And then, and then on Sunday, the 2nd of November at Eden Park in Auckland, it's the Kiwi Ferns versus Australia, the Jillaroos in the women, and the Kiwis v Tonga in the men. And then it's all played over 3 weekends, it would appear. And then on Sunday, November 9 at CommBank Stadium, it's the finals of men's and women in Sydney. So even though Australia aren't playing in the men, the final's still going to be in Sydney, and obviously they will get massive support, any of those teams, won't they? Because there's a lot of supporters, a lot of people, particularly for Samoa and Tonga, who support those teams and live in Sydney. So I'm sure they'll get a big crowd. So there you go. Now, on Sunday, I called the championship game between London and Barrow at Cherry Red Record Stadium, which is a brisk 34 minutes walk from where I am right now in our beautiful London studios. And it was the first time we managed to use the radio mic at full time, went out onto the field and spoke to a couple of players and the coach, Mike Eccles. Mike Eccles' comments were particularly, I think, newsworthy, so we'll save them for the end of the program. But after this little break, you're going to hear from the non-stop Mr. Perpetual Motion at lock in Marcus Stock for the London Broncos, and that was after their 18-10 win over Barrow. And during the rest of the hour, we'll also talk about some other stuff. We'll go through all the team news in the NRL, etc., etc., etc.
18-10, everybody. I might talk to Marcus. Have a chat, mate. We're live. We've got a radio mic. Marcus, that was I guess in the first half, you'd been disappointed to concede those 2 tries because you dominated the early exchanges, didn't you?
Yeah, mate, it's the worst thing ever. Big lads in the middle working hard, and then the quick, good-looking blokes at the end can't catch the ball. So, yeah, it was a bit frustrating to see. But, yeah, it's one of those, we'd rather them score off a good kick like that than break us down or through the middle. So it was disappointing at the start, but the second half has been a struggle for us throughout the year. So it was good we could put that away at the second half.
Do you think your fitness was superior to them in the end?
Yeah, it's hard to know their full fitness, but I'd say that's probably one of the things we pride ourselves on is our high level of fitness, but also just not giving up. I think there's probably lots of reasons why we could give up in that game, but we showed some steelness and some toughness.
No one knows what the championship's going to look like next year. No one knows who's going to be in Super League, or at least I don't know teams 12 to 14. Does that make it difficult? Have you got Super League in the back of your mind?
Probably, to be honest, when the announcement first came out, there probably was a little bit of that kind of talk in my mind, but I think you can't play like that. You can't play a rugby league match, such a physical sport like that, wondering about something that you've got no control over. So I think the way me and the squad are looking at it are just taking each game as its own challenge, not worrying about things we can't control.
How well can you finish the year as a team, do you think?
Oh, mate, well, we started pretty bad, so it's only up really from here. But yeah, if we seem to be hitting our stride, probably on aggregate over the last 6 games. So I think hopefully we can go on and on.
Welcome back to Good Morning League fans. My name is Steve Mascott. I'm coming to you from here in sunny London, and let me take this opportunity to tell you what's coming up on the station this weekend. Thanks for supporting rugbyleague.com, and thanks for listening to our match commentaries. And why don't we start with the NRL? We'll just go through in chronological order, shall we? On Friday in the morning, we'll be bringing you Canberra v Manly from GIO Stadium. And then on Friday night, the great Jason Costigan, he'll be calling Warrington up against the Wigan Warriors. And that game is at the Halliwell Jones Stadium. You would think that Warrington's playoff hopes are gone now, but it's always a willing contest, that. Then on Saturday morning, your commentator will be Mark Levy, with Daryl Broman and Paul Gallen assisting as the Dolphins meet Sydney Roosters at Suncorp Stadium. And then the second match on Saturday, Matt Thompson and Josh Morris in their respective chairs as Canterbury meet the Warriors at Accor Stadium. And then in the afternoon, Costo is back when Hull KR play host to the Castleford Tigers. And then our weekend coverage rounds off on Sunday. Parramatta Eels up against North Queensland. And that game is being called by Chris Warren, and he'll be more than ably assisted by Daryl Broman and Mark Riddell. Well, as I said, it's Teams Tuesday in the NRL, and after this, we'll come back and quickly run you through all the changes in the NRL teams. Welcome back to Good Morning League fans. My name is Steve Mascord. Let's go through the teams in the NRL announced every Tuesday night. I remember back in the day waiting by the fax machine, or actually I'm old enough to remember actually ringing coaches and getting to read the team out to me on a Tuesday night. So back at AAP, back at the end of the 80s, early 90s. So on Thursday, it's Melbourne at home to Brisbane, and for the Melbourne Storm in their extended squad, they've added 3 guys or 4 guys. Actually, you know what? We'll just do outs. Because it's going to be too long otherwise. The referee is Grant Atkins, and the video referee will be Chris Butler. And the Broncos have lost Xavier Willison. We know that he hurt himself last weekend. Trent Liero is back for Melbourne. He was rested last week, Ati Lissati goes back to the bench. Bronson Garlick is the one who drops out there, and Alec McDonald for the Storm. He's He's listed among the reserves, hoping to come back from a rib injury, it was Payne Haas. He's a big in for the Broncos. He couldn't play last week because he got an infection in his leg, broken arm to Xavier Willison, as I just said. Okay, it's Newcastle up against Penrith on Friday at McDonald Jones Stadium, and the Bradman Best is making a comeback from a knee injury. Jake Arthur coming in at halfback, and it's his debut for the club, the son of Brad Arthur. And also Jackson Hastings and Jack Hetherington are gone from the bench. Isaiah Yeo is out, so Isaiah Papali'i moves to lock for the Panthers. Liam Martin starting in the second row, and Scott Sorensen returns from a leg injury. Now, as we already mentioned, on Friday, the Raiders and Manly. That's one of our broadcast games. No changes for the Raiders. Lehigh Hopewadi is out. Tom Travojevic is at fullback. He's had 5 games in the centres, so that's where we know and love Tommy Turbo as a fullback. And Tommy Talau goes back to the bench. The derby at Jubilee Stadium is St George Illawarra and Cronulla on Saturday. And for the Dragons, it's Shane Flanagan's going with the same 17 as last week. And Toby Rudolph comes onto the bench in his return from concussion in place of Jesse Cole-Quinn for the Sharks. Dolphins and the Roosters, our second broadcast game on Saturday. I can tell you that I haven't been doing referees, but anyway, this is inconsistent. I should give you the referees for all of them, but I'll tell you that Jared Sutton is a referee and Grant Atkins is a video referee. Herbie Farnworth, as we know, is out for the Dolphins, and Tavita Nafahu goes into the centres. Mark Nichols starts at prop in place of Felice Kafusi, who is suspended. And for the Roosters, the same 17 have been retained. You know what? We're going to stop there, and we'll come back after the next break with more. Okay, welcome back to Good Morning League fans, and continuing team news. Teams Tuesday it is in the NRL, And on Saturday, it is the Bulldogs at home to the Warriors. Big game that, and I know a lot of people on the other side of the Tasman will be watching that game. Okay, referees Adam G. It's at Accor Stadium. Video referees Matt Noyen. And no changes to the Bulldogs, sticking to the same side. Chanel Harris Tavita is back from a calf injury to start at 5'8" for the Warriors. James Fisher-Harris is also looking to make a comeback from a calf injury. He's on an extended bench. And also Tamari Martin is on that extended bench as well. Jacob Laban with a leg and hooker Wade Egan with a shoulder. They're out for a while. Moving to Sunday, first game is Gold Coast at home to South Sydney Rabbitohs. The referee is Todd Smith and the video referee is Adam G. Now, Alo Khan Pereira comes onto the wing in place of Phil Sammy, who is got concussion. That's for the Titans. Chris Randall is also making a comeback for the Titans into the back row. So Jacob Alec Wenecki, he goes to the bench, and Tom Weaver misses out altogether. For the Rabbitohs, the fullback Latrell Mitchell is listed among the reserves. He's got a quadriceps injury. He's been out for a month. Brandon Smith, also named to return from a knee injury on the bench. Jamie Humphreys and Pete Mamozelis have overcome concussion and will play. Ryan Gray, Lewis Dodd and Tyrone Munro all drop. So Lewis Dodd's runabouts continues there. On Sunday, the Eels and the Cowboys. The news there for the Eels, a game is at CommBank Stadium. And Kelma Tuolangi has been named on the bench. He returned from suspension through New South Wales Cup last week. Jordan Samrani is in the centres in place of Sean Russell, who broke his hand last week. And Dylan Walker's been named to start at lock with Luca Moretti going back to the bench. A guy who will not play is Sam Tuivati, who suffered a medial ligament strain and missed the rest of the season. For the Cowboys, Jason Taumalolo is back. Jake Clifford is back. Viliami Velio is back. And also Thomas McKaylee. All back for the Cowboys. They'll put a bit of pressure on the Eels this weekend. Now, things didn't go quite as planned this hour, technically, so we probably won't be able to have a detailed discussion about other news items, like Tyrone May being suspended for questioning integrity of a referee in a game his side won by 70. We can't talk about that. We've probably got enough time now to replay these two interviews that have got queued up. One was with Sadiq Adebiyi after the 18-10 win for London over Barrow at the weekend. And then finally, Mike Eccles, where we do get into the Super League expansion and all that sort of stuff, all the off-field manoeuvrings that's happening in the British game. Thanks for joining us on Good Morning League fans.
Got Sadiq Adebiyi, mate. You had more line breaks than most centres, fullbacks today. You're about a million line breaks. A good day for you.
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, it was a tough game, to be fair. Barrow, a class team, but it felt good to be out there and about rowing. You know, getting line breaks, but it just shows the effort that we put in throughout the weeks. You know, last week was a little bit of a blip, and we're moving on and on. So you can see out there. So now it's a good day. First half,
just a couple of kicks you couldn't quite defuse really, and that put you on the back foot, didn't it?
Yeah, it's one of them. They got Brad Walker. He's got a class kicker of the ball. It just caught us off guard, but we rectified it at half time. Mike told us what we needed to do. And, you see that came out with a win, so it's a good day.
Mate, as a back rower who finds yourself in the clear more often than most weeks, is it hard not to panic? Is it hard to keep your composure?
I was saying then to my left hand, is I need to finish more of them off. But, no. We practice them at training and stuff like that. So, next time we'll polish them off, I'm sure.
We'll see you in the bar.
Cheers, mate.
We're on here. Maybe I have a chat to Mike Eccles now about that game. Here he is. So, Mike, you have a chat? Got a radio mic. Yeah, we are, yeah. Mike, first half, you just couldn't defuse a couple of kicks, and it must have been disappointing because you were going well to start the game, and just a couple of mistakes in the air, really.
Yeah, I think we both had our attack disrupted. Obviously, they had they had one in the half and only had one half. And obviously we had young gents and Binks in there. We had to adjust kind of this week about what we're doing, losing Polselli. And we knew that points wouldn't be easy to come by. And they defended us really well. But I just thought we were outstanding. And yeah, we dominated territory, field position. I was pretty happy with our physicality and our energy. And then we conceded 2 really soft tries off kicks. Outside of that, I thought it was 4 tries to 2. It was a hell of a tough game. They're fighting to get in the playoffs. We're fighting to get the bottom 4. It was always going to be a bit of a war of attrition, really.
Were you worried early when you couldn't convert those opportunities?
No, I actually said I had to give calm messages because it wasn't effort or anything like that was the reason we were behind. So we just had to adjust a few more things on the fly in terms of what we were doing with the ball. And just keep cool heads, really. Blue heads, not red heads, as we said. And it didn't quite work out that way, but we got the job done.
Just talking to Sadie about his line breaks. He must have made 1 million line breaks today, didn't he? It was great.
Yeah, I think if you just look at the game simplistically, with 4 tries to 2, they're 2 poor concedes off kicks from us. And we broke the line probably 4 or 5 times as well. And we should have at least iced 2 of those, maybe 3. So, yeah, on the whole, just delighted to get the win.
People up north are talking Super League for London. What do you say to that, and what do you say to the players about it?
Nothing at the minute. No one knows what's going on. So everyone's just casting aspersions at the minute. You know my thoughts on London. I am reading comments about you've got to have to look at the table now and do it on that. Well, we're in the position we are right now because they didn't do it that way. So that would be the most short-termism thing I've ever heard in my life. So we've got to stop thinking short-term. Absolutely. It's not about who's at the top right now. It's about how we're going to best develop the game that needs to be done. We nearly died. Thankfully that we have done it. We have stayed here. We didn't get much support with that, let's be right. But if they want this, then they've got to support it, because in the last 10 years, we got relegated with Bradford in 2014. We got promoted twice on merit. No one give it to us on merit. We produced a hell of a lot of players for the game. We've had 2 very reputable years in Super League. One where we got 10 wins, one where we spent less than £1 million. We only got 3 wins, don't get me wrong, but you know the story behind that. This is ready to go, isn't it? So, it's always been ready to go. Yeah, we need a lot of work, but in terms of London in Super League and London being a focal point, yeah, it's got to be there.
If you get in through the new panel that's being appointed, you'll take it?
Honestly, who'll be on the panel, I absolutely no idea. They've got to make the right decisions for the game, and you know my thoughts on that. London should always be central to